Canberra Metalheads.
The Archives.
Me and You Season 2. Alright, let's kick it.
Hello, David speaking.
Hey Dave, how you doing? It's Marky Malphas from Canberra Metalheads.
How you going, mate?
Good, mate. I've got Jay here with me in the studio as well. We're just calling in for a interview.
Awesome.
Hey, Dave.
Perfect. How you going, man?
Yeah, good, dude.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's kick it off. All right, so you've got, obviously, the latest album has just come up for pre-sale and all announced and everything, As the Kingdom Drowns. That one's the tour album. How's the tour sort of lining up already? It's all shaping up pretty well so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a constant process of every show is at a different stage of advancement, so to speak. You know, it's because I'm both in the band and the booker / the promoter for it, so I'm wearing two hats for the tour. So on one side, I'm super stoked that I get a chance to get up and play drums for an hour every night.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I'm like, what have I got myself into? It's, so much administrative work behind the scenes to get everything done. So it's I wouldn't say catch-22, but it's I definitely get humbled a lot.
Yeah.
If you think you got a big, you can let that ego slip in if you're playing a whole bunch of shows and all the shows are killer, and you don't have to do any of the back end work for it. So it's definitely keeping me grounded, so to speak.
Cool. Yeah, I can imagine. So it's kind of like, at the same time, you kind of get to experience like the fruits of your labour, though, because you're kind of promoting it, getting people to come out and buy tickets and everything, and then you're getting to actually perform with the bands as well. So I guess you're seeing both sides of it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I haven't had a real job for, and I use quotation marks for that. I haven't had a real job for a long time.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean I'm not working, 12 hours every day to ensure that, both musically I'm up to speed and up to match fitness for, performance.
Yeah.
And
especially
then on
drums as well.
It doesn't get any easier the older you get.
Yeah.
And we've been doing it for a while, so
we appreciate everything you do, man. You bring so many quality bands through. We really appreciate everything you do, man.
Oh,
You're a legend.
It's very much mutual, my appreciation and admiration for the rest of the Australian and New Zealand metal scenes is super high, and on the promoting side of things, having people come out and support the shows, I'm the winner in this situation. I get to live my dream job, so to speak. So it's something I definitely don't take for granted, and it's something that I view as a very large responsibility. So we all benefit. We all benefit.
Yeah, exactly. No way. So had a chance to catch up before when you guys came through, and that was first time that I've actually kind of. We speak over emails and stuff like that, but it's the first time I've actually been able to, have a chat and meet you and meet the band and things like that. And it really puts two and two together when I go from like listening to Psycroptic when I first started listening to, metal in the scene, and then just holy crap, I'm interviewing these guys for a show that I run and meeting them and things like that. It's also humbling on this side of the fence as well, like as a fan meeting you guys. So
yeah, always super nice dudes, and thanks for always giving us the time of day, man. We really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. It's the fans, to use quotation marks, just people who come to the shows and who are interested in our music, they allow us to keep doing it. People like yourselves, anyone who comes to the show and, buy some merch, downloads the app, whatever, any sort of support that we receive, allows us to fulfill our dreams. So it's if we haven't got the time of day for the people who are making our lives amazing, it's like, how fucked up are we, you know? So, and it's also, you know, we're into this as well, you know. It's we're all big metal fans, otherwise we wouldn't be playing this music. We're definitely not doing it for the money, because if we are, can you send me the check, because it's been lost in the mail.
Well, speaking of being on the money, we got to listen to your new album, man. It sounded great.
Thanks.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, for sure.
When I spoke to, sorry, just quickly to preference it with this, when I spoke to Todd last time on the show, he said that this is the first sort of time that he's had the extra influence and like the kind of, it's taking a turn, the sound to something more to what he is sort of fitting in with the band. Is there been any sort of changes? Like, you could maybe include that with the answer as well, I guess. But like, are you working towards a different sound at all with the album?
Well, this is going to always sound like a cliche, and this is what, you know, this is I guess our standard answer. It's like, because it's true. Every time we work on a new material or, you know, record, it's very natural, very organic. You know, we're not fighting a specific agenda. We're just trying to get the coolest riff, write the coolest song we can. And you know, just, I guess, guide the ideas where they want to go. And definitely, you know, Todd's soon becoming involved and being, you know, becoming a full-time member in the band. Definitely has had a big influence. He'd been sessioning live with us for quite some time, because Cam, just due to work, you know, his work life outside the band, he really couldn't commit to the amount of touring that we'd all like to do. He kind of felt he was holding us back, and it was a very understanding situation, you know, and he was very supportive of us taking out a session member. But I guess it just ran its course. It came to its time where it was, we just gave Cam the option, you know, did he want to stay or leave? And just due to his life choices, he decided that he really couldn't commit to the band anymore. And as such, because we're all still family, you know, it was very important for us, for those two to actually meet in person before we made the transition. So that's when Todd became a full member, is when he met Cam, and Cam shook his hand and they hung out and had some beers, and it felt right. So
nice.
In you know, regarding the album, myself and Joe and, you know, Peppo as well, we've been working on material anyway. So when we'd actually constructed most of the music before Todd was made official, you know, and it's not really a cool thing to write with someone when possibly their perception of their role in the band isn't well defined, if that makes sense. So it wasn't fair for us, wasn't fair for him. So he did come into the album at a later stage once we'd already tracked everything, but he definitely had a very big influence on the production, some of the structures, definitely a lot of the back end of the creative stuff. You know, it was his suggestion to get Will Putney on board to mix it, master it, because they're old friends.
Nice.
And yeah, so sonically he did have a big influence, and definitely motivation-wise, it was cool. You know, Todd Stern's such a excitable and enthusiastic person who loves the fuck out of life, and it's infectious. So it's very cool to have him around. So yeah, he definitely had a big influence on the whole process. Even though it wasn't writing a riff, it was definitely beneficial for the album in general to have him around.
Yeah, nice.
Excellent. Yeah, that's good. Good to hear that. So he was, when I spoke to him last, he was in the band for about 3 years. So that wasn't too long ago. It's good to see that the newest members sort of having a positive influence on the band.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've been doing it for so long. It's refreshing to have just a new opinion, and you know, someone a new friend as well. You know, it's super cool.
New influences as well. You know, being from the States, he's probably bringing in some like more international sort of influences that you guys, you know, may be meshing with differently to maybe a local local player.
Definitely. It's you know, everything about it has been very positive and beneficial. You know, the only thing that sucks is that we can't hang out more because he lives, you know, 24 hours away.
Yeah,
but that's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, no, he did mention before. I mean, obviously, I'm just quoting stuff that we've spoke to Todd before about. But yeah, like he mentioned before, the band is a little spread, but also like you guys click really well when you're all together. So I guess that's the main thing. And,
exactly.
It shows in the music as well. You get nice tight sound. I mean, I've seen the last show you did here, obviously with Archspire and the locals Wretch and Hedau Mall, and that was a rad tight gig as well, playing some of the stuff we all know and love. So now you've got the new album out, and you're obviously playing a lot of tracks from the new one.
For sure. That's taking up a lot of my taking up a lot of my days. Well, it should be taking up a lot of my days at the moment, because I still don't know the material that well. So I've got a lot of work to do.
I can imagine. So as the tour goes on, you're kind of clicking more with the meshing with the material as well, playing it on stage and.
Live, you know, we've chosen particular songs to play on the tour, but we don't live. You know, we like them in terms of on the album, you know, and we think they'll be fun to play, but you never really know until you get out and do a tour. You know, there's been songs that we've included in the set, and halfway through the tour, we're like, fuck, this song just goes down like shit live. You know? we just have to swap it out because it's just fucking killing the set. You know, it's killing the vibe.
I get you.
But it could be someone's favorite song. You never really know until you know, you really start playing them live. So that's going to be the next exciting part.
Yeah, right. Well, I guess also with like such a massive fan base that Psycroptic has, and a good solid founded fan base over the years. You could nearly assume that every song you guys have, there's someone out there that's their favourite song. So it's nearly like you don't know what you want to pull because it's going to upset at least someone.
Exactly. So, you know, everyone's asking for different songs and yelling it out, and when you don't play, it's like, fuck yeah, play this. And it's like, well, we don't know it. We haven't practiced it for a while, you know. So, and when, you know, sometimes we do play the songs that people request a lot, and it's like, well, this sucks. You fuckers asked for it, and no one's into it. So we'll find out at the end of the tour, I guess.
That's it. Then that, like you said, you learn it on tour and you mesh with it on tour. You mentioned that you haven't had a, like, in quotes, real job for years. There's something there that, like, obviously in the music industry, that's the dream, right? Just being able to play and promote, or, you know, have a side gig like this, you know, things like radio, podcasts, things like that. So how long's it been since, you know, you've had like many band projects over the years? What's it like just working in that constant, submersed straight into the scene constantly?
Oh, well, I can never take a holiday, and I work every day.
Yep.
And I probably spend a lot more time than most people in front of a computer sending emails.
Yeah.
And I probably get paid half as much as everyone else. But all of that shit is irrelevant because I guess my priority was to be able to play more music and to live off a passion that I have. So I made a certain amount of choices a long time ago that I knew it was going to be very tough to do, and it still is, but you know, you work hard at anything, you're going to see results eventually, and you know, I'm not going to get the violin out and say, oh, poor me, I've made so many sacrifices, because, you know, I haven't. I've just followed this thing that I do and tried to do it as to the best of my ability, and every time you know, I fail, I learn more, and every time I succeed, I learn more, and it just has a cool knock-on effect. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a job like any other. I work super hard. Yeah, well, it's a job working for myself, working within a realm that I love. So
yeah,
I say it's not a real job because I'm not working for anyone else. Yeah, there's a difference between having a job that you hate and working fucking hard, and a lot of people might not be able to make the distinction. But yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle choice. So yeah, I work everywhere. I never really take holidays. I don't get sick leave, and I get no super. And there's no fucking company car.
But at the same time, yeah. But I can imagine it's like super rewarding, and also it's like you said.
Oh yeah,
you work.
It's amazing. You know, it's living the dream. It literally is living the dream. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not sitting on the beach doing nothing.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's like there's a comedian that I follow. He basically said something similar. He said, like, I won't work 8 hours a day for someone else, but I'll work 16 hours a day for myself.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned that everyone has a favorite song. What's your favorite song from As the Kingdom Drowns?
Ooh, see, I've only learnt 2.5 of the songs so far, so I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I definitely have a favourite in terms of, well, I guess I'm a little bit biased. My favourite song is always going to be what song I enjoy playing the most. Because I don't sit around and listen to Psycroptic. Like, why would I? You know? I play the music, you know, I play the song. Yeah. So my opinion is going to be very much biased. But at the moment, I quite enjoy playing Directive. That's one of the songs that I think will definitely be in our set from now on. It's awesome. That's a pretty cool song. And I think it's going to work well on the live front. And I've just started working my way through Frozen Gaze, so I think that'll be a cool one as well. Cool. So yeah, I guess the way we write and record these days, we might finish an album and then I might not know the song at all because it started completely. It's changed so much over the process. So we're not really a band anymore that'll write our music in the rehearsal room, get it note perfect, go in, know the songs, and then, you know, straight away we can play them live. The creative process is a lot more fluid and it changes the whole time. So, yeah, the album, I still have to relearn everything. Which is kind of cool because you're listening to it from fresh ears, but it's also kind of daunting because someone will ask us to play a song. It's like, well, we don't know that one yet.
It's exactly right. It's we actually have a copy of the latest album that was sent through us for sampling for the show. So that makes sense as to why we can sort of play a couple tracks off there, and give everyone a little taste of what they can expect at the show on the 5th of December at the Basement.
Awesome.
So we'll wrap it up with that, and just a little teaser for the fans, obviously, to get Dave Haley here on the show, which is pretty crazy to have a phone in just on a casual Saturday morning.
It's awesome. Thank you very much for the time. It's been a cool chat, and
looking forward to seeing you guys come through, and we can even catch up on the night. I've caught up with Todd. Obviously, you mentioned that multiple times already. But yeah, I'm happy to have as many of you guys on as possible, and I have all my own gear. We can have a chat there on the night.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Good to catch up a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the show, man, and we'll close it up with a Psycroptic song. But before that, just a shout out to, check out Psycroptic on their social medias, and also check out Direct Touring as well.
Anything extreme coming through Australia.
Yeah, check out all of that on the socials as well to keep up to speed with all the heavy stuff coming through town.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, as soon as anything cool comes out our way, we try to get it out there on the socials.
Yeah,
so,
and also thanks very much for reaching out to us as well as one of the promoters in Canberra to push these things and have your music on the show. Really appreciate just keeping that network contact open and having a chat whenever something comes through.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a two-way street. So I'm happy to chew your ear off anytime you have me.
Oh, perfect, man. All right, well, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll catch you here on the 5th of December
Awesome.
with the boys from Psycroptic. And hello and welcome to the interview section of Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky Malphas and
JDecay.
We're joined here with the guys of Hireath at the atmospheric basement episode. So starting from left to right, we've got
Skip, play guitar and vocals.
Yeah, and then my name's Chris, and I just yell at people, pretty much.
I'm Dan. I play the other guitar.
Cool. Good to have you guys in. Just
Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah, man. No, it's good to have you on, and catch up here, have a feed before the interview, and get everything sorted. Actually, the food will probably come out mid interview, so that's perfect.
They can hear me chew and all nice and loud.
Make sure I chew.
Chompies.
Yeah, chompers getting the. That's why he said to me just before, called it chompers because you can just chomp on it, man.
Yeah.
Why complicate it? But no, it's cool, man. Good to see you guys come in. You said you had a gig over the last couple of days.
Yeah, man.
So I know what it's like when to have that Sunday appointments that you got to catch up with. So I'm glad you guys were able to come in, man.
Yeah,
and you're also filming it for the
doing
a short video there.
Yeah, the boys. Sorry, the girls.
So this will be the first time we've had one actually filmed as well. So there's that one.
Yeah,
that
nice.
one on the another notch on the belt there.
Be one of the first we filmed.
Yeah, we're just stepping it up, man.
Yeah.
So have you guys been on a podcast or radio show before?
No, we haven't. No.
Cool.
We did, Skip did a tiny interview with ABC after we won a little local kind of band challenge.
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah.
Like
Yeah, Lift Off Festival.
Yeah,
It was
that's
when we
it.
were called Lines of the Underground.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
I
a
just
while
played an
back.
acoustic song acoustic version of How Do You Feel off
Yep.
Oblivious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was good fun.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's good to see that like places like ABC and Triple J and things like that are actually like playing some of the local stuff.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to sort of get a bit more exposure and things like that.
Yeah, man. Well, we're just like, I don't know, I think we just appreciate it more that, people are like, we want to interview you guys or whatever.
Yep.
We're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
It's fucking tight, man. It's fucking
Yeah,
tight.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes it easier to initiate that conversation because a lot of the time, I'm kind of like, oh man, these guys might not be cool, might not like want to catch up for an interview sort of thing. So it always helps when people are keen. And now I'm getting to the point where people like actually hit me up and say, hey, we're traveling through, man. Do you want to do an interview? So I've been, like I mentioned before, I've been doing this for 6 months now, and it's just good to see the wheels are turning and getting some momentum with it.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And, like we've recently started interviewing, you've probably noticed like some more of the like metalcore, deathcore, hardcore bands as well, and not just sticking straight to like death and black metal.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I love my death and black metal, but how I've had.
Got to promote the whole lot, man.
Yeah.
It's all metal.
Yeah, that's right. It's and you've noticed, we've had like in the start of the show with like Boris the Blade, Night in Texas, Honest Crooks, stuff like that. So having some of that deathcore stuff and mixing it up a bit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to have everybody on the show. So
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's good to keep flow.
I seen you guys last here on the Sunday gig for the Sunday afternoon. It was like a
No worries out the window.
yeah, that's it. Sorry,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like here I am trying to do research for a show. Like I've got a notebook and everything. I just don't write these little actual points down.
Well, that's why you got us, mate.
Don't worry about that, man.
Good. You can be the memory of the night. But yeah, no, they that was a good gig, man. It opened up my horizons to like more sort of other bands. Like we've had like bands from that show in the last few weeks. Last week's show was Stewie from Chasing Nimbus, which that night initiated that interview. So
Oh, yeah. That's sick, man.
and obviously you guys as well coming in. I mean, I know Tori, which is mutual friend of ours.
Yep.
Which I've known her for years, man, and like I only recently seen her again in the scene. So it's good to also have those connections.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Everything's coming together.
It's actually really tight, man. The scene's kind of kicking back, eh? Like, it's starting to finally come back. Like, the turnouts have started getting a lot more consistent, and not just for us, but for, like, every band. Like, every band's pulling a big crowd now, which is really tight. Ooh, food's here.
Yeah. As we mentioned before, the food's here.
Thanks, bro.
Legend.
Get into it. Cheers.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks, mate.
Chuck us the chips. Have something going, bro. Again, dog.
There we go.
Mad.
Yeah,
You
so
know, let's,
shout out the chompers there at the
Good
basement.
old chompers.
Jumpers.
No, it's good, man. Like, saying as the scene's kind of kicking back, you know, like you see mates from like high school and stuff rocking up, and you're like, bro, I haven't seen you in ages. Mad dog, thanks for coming out. You know?
And that's the thing, man. So I think it might have been when we were talking to Stewie in the last show. It's just like, man, all of a sudden, hardcore and deathcore kids, man, are like actually having kids. Like it's like the scene is like progressing. It's like it's not just the death and black metal bands that like have to find a sitter for the night, you know.
What I find real funny is that like most dudes at like metal shows are like the nicest dudes you could meet.
Yeah.
Like, you know, no one's really got much ego about them. Like everyone's pretty easygoing. It's just a good scene to be in.
We're all big and ugly with tattoos, but we'll still kiss ya.
It's also like an evolutionary thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like most subgenres take a little while to kick off and kind of then solidify themselves as a mainstay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And now,
exactly.
like, I don't know, I've been through about 4 generation changes since I started listening to metal.
Yeah.
You know, from early 90s through to 2000 scenes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you'll see the resurgence of you guys who are now working and coming through in the professional stakes, and everyone will be amping it up that next level, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, man.
And it's great to see some quality recordings and good bands that are willing to promote themselves coming up.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We're all getting really competitive with each other, so and everyone's just kind of setting a higher and higher bar for the next person. So it's really kind of helping make the Canberra scene really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear, man. I've even noticed it just since I've been doing the show that like in the past 6 months, it's good, man.
That chip's hot.
Yeah, the scene just in the past 6 months that I've been running the show, like it seems like as this place has evolved, so's the scene. Like just the main metal venue in town seems to have just like initiated the growth of the whole scene just by expanding and getting bigger.
Or
and
the
better.
bigger, better quality venue with
And
more people
sound.
coming, and
Yeah, I'm sure
it's-
you've noticed that on like really shitty days like Sunday and Monday, people are actually turning up to shows.
Yeah, well, that worries out the window gig. Like, I've never come.
Surprise, yeah.
I've never come to a shift wearing sunnies, and then expected to see a room full of people. Like when I took them off, you know what I mean? Like you walk down in here, and there's actually like a solid turnout. I mean, obviously that's because the gig kicked off early as well, and people didn't want to miss bands. But
I think it's good starting off early though. Like you start a thing too late, and people in Canberra won't really stick around to watch the last band, and it's like, you know, better to start early.
yeah, man. Like I was at that gig, got home, still managed to get me 8 hours before my job the next day. You know, like
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, man. It was a rad night. It was sick.
yeah, no, it worked out really well. And you mentioned that you also played we mentioned at the start of the show, you also played the back room here a couple nights ago as well. And I think when I seen you guys play at the Words Out the Window, you guys were on the back room as well.
Yeah, back room's got good
It's
vibes,
a
man.
good tight little
vibes.
room, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
definitely.
good. Fill it up.
Yeah,
Get people moving, man.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like in the big room, it's like people are self-conscious to move around and stuff, and then when you take them in the back room, they're like, all right,
yeah, let's do
peace
it.
out.
Actually, I think it was the Honest Crooks gig when they played in that back room last. Man, that was the craziest pit I've ever seen, man.
Yeah,
Like
man.
just for that back room, it was off its head. Like I was working in the little bar area, and a dude got slammed through the door, like the bar door. And so I'm pouring a beer, and I look down, and he's like down next to me, and I looked down, I grabbed him, and I pulled him back up. And before I could even ask if he was okay, he just went like, "I'm okay," and like went straight back into the pit again, man. So it was
That's wild.
it was pretty cool,
hilarious.
man. And the funny thing is, though, that was just out the back, like the front. There was something else out here. So I had that direct contrast between the back gig, like mad pit, like everyone's going off their head. I come here and there was like a cover night or something, and there was the band that was covering ABBA was on.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like going from like, you know, Honest Crooks to like the next room, Dancing Queen. You know what I mean?
That's mad.
You can imagine like both rooms moshing as hard as the next.
And like everybody's like spaced out far enough not to bump into each other here, but out the back there's just like, it was like as close as you could be.
Yeah.
So it's good to see the same venue can host two shows as well and get lots of crowds in through two different doors. So.
Well, actually, on Friday when we played, there was like a rock and roll show going on in the big room.
Yeah.
Like while all of us were being angry and yelling into microphones. Good time.
Yeah, that's it.
I have to say, we're definitely very fortunate to have the basement. Like, you know, it's local. It's like pretty much our home, like to play gigs. So,
Yeah.
You know, couldn't imagine a better place.
That's it,
We've
man.
got choppies as well.
Yeah, food as
Fucking
well.
hard, man.
Now they do food.
We've had some good feedback as well here from bands that have just been touring, and they've like said in comparison to other venues, other venues are still like good, still doing the thing for the scene and stuff. But it's good to see a devoted music venue. Like a lot of the time, some bands are playing in venues that aren't like purely made for music. There might be like you know, just communal spaces, halls, things like that, and then finally you've got like an actual music venue.
Yeah, man.
Or specifically metal venue as well. Like they might be just like a venue that doesn't specifically do metal, but like here it's kind of like metal's the constant, and then other gigs are like the exception.
Yeah,
Right, man.
yeah.
Like there was like some techno gig here a few weeks ago, man, and like even that went off. It's just cool to see like the sound system can handle all types of music, you know, and still nail it.
100%.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, we've also got some really good sound guys here in Canberra.
Yeah.
Like most of them say that's where they, you know, they work out on bigger stages, bigger tours and stuff, and then
That's
they
where
come
they
in.
come to die as
Yeah,
well.
they come in to die.
Yeah, man.
So you know,
That-
we got
well,
a
that's
good group
exactly
of
right,
dudes
man.
Here.
Yeah, there's been I was actually talking to Jesse about that the other day. It's like we have some top-notch sound dudes here, and some of them have either just, like you said, been on big stuff, or they like never took that progression into big stuff and just stayed local.
Definitely, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that way. It's like they got so much talent, they could easily do something bigger, but they're like, they so.
It's kind of like oh, I want you to like do like everything in your full potential and go out and be, you know, doing all the big stuff, but I kind of don't want you to leave because I want you to be our sound guy, you know what I mean? Like,
No, definitely very fortunate with everything the basement has to offer, man. Like, it's just sick.
That's it, man. And like there's other good venues around town. We've had a few good gigs come up at like Transit Bar and things like that as well.
Yeah, we played there a few times. It's
like
good.
we're all at Parkway Drive at UC as well. Like, I mean, that's a good big venue as well. Like for the bigger bands, I think I seen Lamb of God play there in 2012, and even that place has gotten like a bit bigger since then and been up the capacity. I think when Lamb of God played, the capacity was like 700.
Yeah, true.
And they packed it out.
Yeah.
And the other night it was like even bigger again.
Definitely.
For Parkway.
crazy.
And also I was talking to Jay about this like earlier in the week. It's good to see also not just like so Parkway Drive, Killswitch Engage, two massive names, but also Thy Art Is Murder. You've got like a heavy band on with like, you know, some like bigger, more popular bands.
Yeah, fucking hard.
So
definitely.
it means that like heavy scene is starting to like creep into like the more popular scene as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
More
Yeah,
socially
definitely.
acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, I find a lot of heavy music is starting to get more popular, like more like on the slam and heavy hardcore side of things, like bands like Alpha Wolf and Ice Crooks, like they're really starting to blow up all of a sudden, and that wasn't really cool 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now all of a
That's
sudden,
true.
like it's the going thing. So it's really cool to see like heavy bands like starting to get some proper recognition because they're fucking sick.
Yeah. Well, that's what we had. Like when I caught up with Todd from Psycroptic here in one of the previous shows, and he was mentioning like, dude, you pretty much like when you're touring with bands like Whitechapel and stuff like that, you're at the pinnacle of your genre. Like that's like you've hit the ceiling at that point.
Yeah.
So now it's good to see that ceiling's getting lifted. Like there's more range for how big your crowd can be.
Back to the stadium crowds, man.
Yeah.
Like the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
As you were saying, like with the more kind of diverse feeling, like, you know, genres and bands playing together, it's like we play all ages shows, and like, you know, bit of this, bit of that in there, like some indie, some like rock, and then comes to us and everyone loses it. Like, it's just a good time having that difference in shows. Like, you know, more people get involved. It's not so like, oh, I don't want to mosh or I have to. It's because they want to. It's like
exactly.
People are just like, you know, they feel better with a different variety.
That's it, man. Like I went for a period there where like man, I was on crutches for 8 weeks. I couldn't get out to watch gigs without being up the back. And by the end of that, man, I was like, I didn't realise how much I was missing it. Actually,
it's a way of life.
Just get like I watched. I think it was when Venom Inc. played here, maybe. It was Destroyer 666 when they played, and I sat up the back on crutches, man, just going, oh man, like cool that I'm getting to watch them. But at the same time, like, I didn't realise how much I was missing. Like, I'm not a mosher these days. Like, I'll get on the edge of the pit. Occasionally, I might sort of jump into a lap and come back out again. You know, I'm that dude.
Like that,
I think that's like us, dude. Like, we don't like to get all in there and throw fists and stuff, but, you know, we definitely... Oh, besides you.
Yeah, I was saying, no one really likes to fight dance except for me.
Fight dance.
But so like leading up to the show, man, I was and obviously before the Warriors out the window, I was looking through some of the socials and stuff, and I seen you had a rad video clip, which I noticed Tori was in as well. Back to callback before. But yeah, no, that was a rad little video there, man. Like haven't seen any video clips before, or even seen you play live before that gig. So I'd only ever heard you online. So yeah, that was cool to see, like a rad video clip to put to a song as well. Yeah, what was it like recording all that stuff, man? You're like out in the bush and stuff, and then switching back.
Just a shout out to Jordan Tan. He was the guy he comes out from Melbourne. He's come down here twice to film videos for us. And, you know, we mesh real well with him. Yeah, we actually went out to our mate's property. And, we were like, just go nuts. Like, you know.
Just find somewhere in the sticks, get messy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shout out to our boy, Josh Savage, for giving us his property.
No, it was good, man. Like, as for, like, ideas and stuff for the videos, we kind of come up with them on the day, man. Like, we're very lazy in that respect.
Not lazy, we just like to be creative in the moment.
Yeah, but I think it works well.
And we're lazy.
Yeah, but it works well with Jordan, you know, because he's like, all right, you guys you don't know what you're doing, but I'll help you out. You know, I got your back. So, you know,
we got the ideas. We just don't have a set in stone schedule. For
don't
things.
have like
you got like the structure, but just haven't fleshed it out.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Just
like
a dream, really, and then it gets put into reality eventually. So it's cool.
Yeah, like for It's Never Easy, we kind of wanted to get across the message of, you know, us playing hard out in the bush, but also there's a bit of a story behind it of, you know, sticking by your mates and whatnot, and just like
fighting your demons.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like using your demons for good. Like, I don't know, for example, like, I don't know, I could get angry, I can scream it out, you know what I mean? It's like using it as a good thing. Like, you know, it's just, that kind of message for everyone to just...
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I definitely conveyed that message, man. Like, I said before, I've always been into like the death, black metal stuff, things like that, and that's all very passionate and heartfelt as well. But also to see that passion across the board, like in all music, it like that's what I appreciate. Like I'm not like specific, I like this type of music. I just appreciate seeing passion behind what someone does.
Yeah, definitely.
And man, and there was definitely a really cool message in that video, man. Like it spoke to me as well, so that was cool.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, just seeing like the contrast, you know, like you got the bush, you guys hanging out, but also you got like the story that you're telling back at the house and things like that. So yeah, that was rad, man. And like you said, just sticking by your mates, even though you don't know what the story behind what they're doing is, you know? Yeah, man. So like that's cool, and it's good to see that you got like an outlet to convey that message through music.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we just try to, I don't know, not like directly, but try to encourage people to, you know, come to shows, let it all out, you know. Anyone can come and talk to us, no matter how, I don't know, like serious it may be. It's like we're all, it's like a community. It's like, you know, you can come chat to us, like we're not going to shrug you off or anything.
We are one.
We are one.
Yeah. That's exactly right, man. Yeah, it's just good to convey that message back onto people. And a lot of the time, people they might not have, like, they might have just moved to town, they don't know many people. Gigs is a good spot to hang.
Yeah, and, definitely. Like,
That's how I met everyone, man.
Yeah.
Coming from South Coast. Just came to shows.
Yeah, that's it. Man. I'm the same, man. Like, I started working here in 2012, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I was a 19-year-old kid when I walked in that front door with my resume in my hand. And the dude that ran the place, like, I knew him, I knew of him. Walked in, man, I'm just like, hey, you know, here's my resume. It's like this big dude with a fucking mohawk. And he's just like, all right, no worries, man. And I thought I'd never hear from it. I'd be like, dude, they don't want like a 19-year-old emo kid working here, man. This is like metal band.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and then, like, I've been here on and off ever since, just casually, but I've been scoring like weekly shifts here now that it's gotten bigger. So
Yeah, it's good, man.
it's and that's how I've met everyone, and that's how I got into the scene, and you know, that's what brought me to this point of, you know, running, you know, radio and podcasts and also gig promotion and things like that.
Yeah.
So, are all you guys locals? Been in Canberra, born and bred?
Not really anymore, eh?
Us three are.
Yeah.
Dan, Chris, and myself. But Rilo lives in Brisbane now. He flies down for every show.
Yep.
Just mad effort from him.
Yeah, rad.
Yeah. And our bassist Brenton just moved to Wagga as well.
Yeah.
So we don't really get a chance to practice a whole lot. But we sort of practice in our own time.
Yeah.
Click tracks and samples and come together and practice at the next show.
Yeah, that's rad, man.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
well,
pretty much just, you know, as well as we practice is as good as the show is, so, you know.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Well, like, with the way that things are going with technology and things, it just makes it easier to actually do that.
Definitely.
A lot of the time, in the past, you might not have had that chance. Like, call back to, like, when we had Callum from Honest Crooks. You probably might know, their band is all up the East Coast. And, man, they just, like, still pull it together really tight. And he said they even do, like Facebook videos with each other and just, like, practice that way. Like, just with a guitar in their hand, just getting stuff down that way.
Yeah.
However it works, it's good to see them playing so well. Like, it's good to watch them.
Yeah, man. No, it's good to be able to do that and bring it all together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we've pretty much covered off everything we really needed to hit, man. I'm happy with everything so far, man. Just getting to know a little bit more about the band and giving everyone a little taste of some of your music so that they can come out and see the real thing.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Thanks
good to see
having us, man.
doing.
Yeah, man. No, I love doing it, man. Like I was saying before, sometimes I'm like a little bit not sure. You know, these guys might not have time or anything like that, but it's cool to see it all comes together, man. And I'm most of the time like, whoa, man. Sometimes I'm like, I'm actually doing this, you know. Like I'm hanging out, you know. I'm not in a band myself, and I'm just like, I'm in the scene still, you know.
Yeah, man. You're doing a good thing.
Cool, man. No,
people like you are very important.
Yeah, definitely.
And like it works hand in hand. Like without the bands, wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. So
that's right.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks for coming on, boys. And do you have any upcoming gigs or anything you want to promote?
Not a whole lot for Canberra, I don't think.
Yep.
I think we're about to start doing some legs in Melbourne and Central Coast, stuff like that.
Yeah, just a couple more shows to kind of fill out the rest of the year. But
just to promote our singles, It's Never Easy and Life in Retrospect.
Cool.
Yep. If you've got any listeners in Wollongong, we're playing a show with Foxblood in December, big mini fest at Taranaki Surf Club. That's going to be really cool. So if you've got listeners in Wollongong, come watch us.
Got that, and also check these guys out on their social medias. There'll be links in the description for all of that. And go out and support their shows. You guys have merch as well?
We have merch coming, I think.
Yeah, at the moment, not really because of the name change.
Name
it's
change,
still all very fresh in the hearts of this sort of music scene. Because you know, Lines of the Underground, we had a fair bit of merch, and now there's not really a whole lot to do with it all. So we're sort of just waiting, getting the money together.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you know, obviously we've got an EP coming out early next year. That's still in the air.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we'll get some shirts and some jumpers up, and it'll be sweet.
Yeah, sick, man. So keep an eye out for that stuff when it drops.
Yeah.
Here on Canberra Metalheads.
Bam!